I'm now going to demonstrate the Longtail Cast-On. The Longtail Cast-On is a very flexible cast-on method because it looks great coupled with a variety of different stitch types. But most importantly, it's rather stretchy, so it works great for projects that need to move, like sleeve cuffs and hats. So there's a reason it's called the Longtail Cast-On, because in order to do this method, you actually need a long tail. This tail helps form the loops that will sit on your needle. And it's kind of hard to guesstimate how long this tail needs to be in order to cast on all your stitches. You can eyeball it, and that's pretty easy for 10 to 20 stitches. But when you need to cast on 40, 50, or even 100 plus stitches, how long is enough? So I'm going to show you a little trick. So take your needle and your yarn, and if your pattern calls for 20 cast-on stitches, wrap your yarn around the needle 20 times. I always add on a couple extra inches just for good measure, just to make sure you have enough. This is where you're going to want to do your slip knot. So to do a slip knot, loop your yarn and then bring up a loop through there and pull tight. It's called the slip knot because it can easily become bigger, and you can also tighten it up. So now take your needle and look at where your yarn tail is. The yarn tail should be closest to you, and the tail attached to the ball of your yarn facing away. So you just did your slip knot. You can tighten it up, not too snug, and that is your first cast-on stitch. Now take your pointer finger and your thumb, place them in between the two yarns and spread them out. Grab and anchor down the rest of the yarn with your 3 other fingers. You're going to want to create this kind of triangular slingshot. Now repeat after me. We're going to go left and right and through. We're going to take our thumb and snug up the slack. Again, get your slingshot. You can anchor these stitches down with your pointer finger. Go left and right and through. And snug it up with your thumb. Left, right, and through. When you're snugging up the stitches around the needle, try and make it even, an even amount of tension each time. This is an exposed cast-on edge. So if you go from loose to tight tension, it's going to show here. So this is what it looks like if it's too loose. And then all of a sudden, you start going a little too tight. Just every time you want it to be snug but not tight and even, and you'll get a beautiful cast-on edge.